Inselberg, the ice cream man, is our chip leader with close to $3 million.
Action on Thomas Marchese. He's got a pair of threes.
All in.
He's moving all in with him.
David out. Around to Jeff. He's got a pair of fours, Mike.
Well, Thomas was big chip leader not long ago. Now he's in third place. He's moved all in with 2 threes.
I call.
Jeff makes the call. So it looks like the doom and gloom continue for Thomas Marchese here. He's going to have to get very lucky to stay alive in this tournament.
Yes, he is. Dominated right now. Thomas, a fine player, was so confident early on, but things have turned and changed rapidly here at Foxwoods for him.
Hearts don't work. Diamonds, maybe. I'll take a high paired board also.
All right, let's see the flop.
He'd like to see 2 higher pairs, what he's talking about to get the split, but comes king 9-5. He'd love to see 2 cards pair on the board where he would get a chop out of this pot. As it is, he needs a 3 or 2 running diamonds to win it. Well, there's 1 diamond, the queen of diamonds.
Wow.
So that gives Thomas a lot more outs. He can win this pot now with a diamond or a 3.
We better get lucky here. Hit that diamond or a 3. Otherwise, it's back to Persephone for him. Here's the river card. He got it.
He's done it. Even though it makes 3 fours again for Jeff Forrest, it's not good enough as Thomas has made a diamond flush. Well, finally, Thomas says, I got some luck at this final table.
Well, he was overdue. Justice for Thomas.
He deserved that one.
It is a miracle here at Foxwoods.
On his game. It's kind of intimidating when someone makes such a thin bet and is so confident and right in their own play.
Ace-9 offsuit, and Max Altergott moves all in for his last 102,000.
I'm all in.
And now Sievers with ace-queen suited moves all in over the top of him and shows him the bad news. Altergott's gonna need some serious help here.
Not too much Max could do. Moving in with 100,000 when the blinds are 3 and 6,000. He could have decided to just min raise and fold if someone put some pressure on him, but him deciding to put his chips at risk is definitely not a terrible play given his stack.
And here is the flop. 5, ace, 9. Oh my goodness, Altergott has hit aces up here to take the lead. He's turned sauerkraut into Spätzle.
A very fortunate flop for Max, but he's not out of the woods yet. As we see, the turn card brings another heart, giving Scott Sievers the nut flush draw.
We have some interesting spots all the time.
So many ways for Max to lose this pot. He needs to avoid the minefield that is the river.
Okay, go.
Max can't take it anymore. Here it comes. It is the 3 of hearts, and Sievers made the nut flush, and that is the end for Max Altergott.
It's always brutal when you start out behind, catch up on the flop, but still end up losing.
This could be you. Get a free shot at winning a seat into a WPT main event at clubwpt.com. Sign up for free today using bonus code YT34.
And Zach looks down at a pair of 4s. He'll come with a raise, 350 total. Taha Maroof, whoa, big hand, ace, king. He has a degree in psychology, and he's going to re-raise. He's figured it out. Makes it 925 total. Jesse gets out of the way.
I would rather shove with Zach's hand than call. Small pocket pairs don't play great post-flop in 3-bet pots, but we're going to a flop, and it's a pretty good one for Zach's pocket 4s.
Taha hit nothing. He's going to pretend like he did.
This is an uncoordinated flop, so I like that Taha is firing out here, and that he's made a very small bet, as that will get Zach to fold plenty of the hands in his range that get to the flop.
Well, he gets the call. Turn card is an ace. Taha hits the aces.
That puts a flush draw on the board as well. Ooh, do not like that check at all out of Taha. I mean, his opponent can have pairs, his opponent can have an ace, can have draws. Let's
see what happens.
Ooh, oh man, and Zach has made a straight on the river, and this is going to cost Taha some money.
Well, now Taha's doing everything backwards. Now he's going to bet 925. Zach hitting the holy card right there, making it straight,
How much do you have left?
asking in a discouraged way.
It's 2.7.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Obvious tell.
Zach rechecking his cards, something he does surprisingly often for a professional.
Mike Sexton hates that. Unless you're a top 30 player in the world, then he accepts it. Some players do it. Reverse psychology.
I'm all in.
I think that's what he had in mind, and there goes the shove. Wow. Putting the pressure on Taha for all his money.
Zach has the best hand here and he's shoving for value, but watching stuff like this makes me think what a great spot it is to bluff these kind of situations.
Zach, I also think, is very solid. He's raising with premiums. He's not mixing it up. He's not re-raising, 3-betting, 4-betting out of position. Most of the hands that he showed down were good hands.
He makes a great laydown right there.
He does. He gets away on the river, but he could have avoided that entire situation by betting the turn.
Well, Zach didn't catch the spider in the way. But back to this hand we go. A quick fold by Paul Clan.
Jesse out as well, so down to the battle of the blinds here.
Well, Danny Fuse now going to set it all in with an ace-7. And a quick call by Paul. Volpe with ace-queen of clubs.
Vince, that was essentially a $3.5 million all-in bet there by Danny Fuse. A snap call by Paul Volpe. So this a massive pot of nearly $7 million. Now Danny has a few more chips than Paul, but not many.
Boy, Danny just overbet that.
Wow, what happened?
I could have just raised $850 like I was supposed to. Instead, it all went in there.
A 7 right on the flop. 10, 9, 7. Danny Fuse is out in front. Could this be deja vu? He had ace-9 against ace-10. When Toby Lewis went all in, he won that pot. Could he do it again? Can lightning strike twice?
10 of clubs, pairs the board by 4 clubs now here for Paul Volpe.
As you can see, Paul Volpe perking up when he sees that card.
Paul Volpe will go out of this event if he doesn't hit a club. Oh, he hits the club! He hits the club! And that is going to destroy Danny Fuse's stack.
You talk about a dagger in the heart for Danny Fuse. There it was. He out-flopped him and then watched his opponent hit club to make a flush to virtually destroy his stack of chips.
Oh, yes, it is. Now, he won't go home broke yet. He's on a severe short stack. Danny Fuse in trouble right now. We're coming back for more on the World Poker Tour.
This could be you. Get a free shot at winning a seat into a WPT main event at clubwpt.com. Sign up for free today using bonus code YT34.
On Noah. He lays it down, and well, that's a bit of a comfort zone. King, queen offsuit pre-flop. Coverman just going to limp in, though. Why not raise?
Well, I think it's a function of his chip stack, his position. I actually like this limp with his stack. I think he could raise and even be willing to get it in, but I think limping works well too. He's got a big hand. He'll be dominating a lot of Jake's hands.
Top 2 pair. His hand just got that much bigger. The bad end of a gut shot straight draw.
This I don't like. I do not like checking this flop. This is just too dangerous of a flop. Too many bad cards can come. You want to try to extract value. You can definitely get 3 bets in if the board runs out in your favor. So I like just betting the flop.
Schindler didn't take the bait on the flop, and now the turn brings a 3rd spade. Coverman not going to be patient any longer, betting 4,500. Pair of 3s for Jake.
Yeah, not a great board for Jake. I might even consider just folding if I were Jake, even though he did turn a pair and does have a bad end to a straight draw.
And he does not have a spade.
Yeah, that's another reason I might just fold here. But Jake deciding to take one off, keeping Byron honest.
We head to the river, which is a 10. Disaster card for Byron. Jake has made the bad end of the straight, but the best hand.
Incredibly lucky river card for Jake.
Yeah,
I mean,
Coverman
only a
checking.
3 or a 10 would have given him the best hand. He did get the 10. It's going to be almost impossible for Byron to give Jake credit for an ace here. So I wouldn't be surprised if Byron pays off with top 2 pair. Really, really fortunate river here for Jake Schindler.
9,000 is the bet. And that does represent a significant chunk of Coverman's remaining stack. He can ill afford to make wrong decisions. And you feel that checking on the flop is the biggest reason he finds himself in this situation.
That plus the very unlucky river card. I mean, I would have bet the flop for a number of reasons, to protect my hand, to build the pot. With his stack size, you can bet that jam on the river and give yourself a chance to double up. So I don't like checking on the flop, but you can't just ignore the fact that he did get very unlucky here on the river.
What is Coverman going to do?
I think against this particular player with this run out, I think you just have to call off your Byron.
And that's exactly what he does, and
that's pretty unlucky.
You just see it all over his face there. Fully displeased with that outcome, and knows it didn't have to be that way.
Yep, that's just sometimes the way the cookie crumbles in poker. Jake running good, playing good, everything going his way. And for Byron, it was going well for a while. The blinds got bigger. He found himself in some unfortunate spots, and now he's really short and in danger of busting.
To be fair, Schindler could have gotten away from his hand on the turn. Didn't have to call.
Did not have to call, but...
At the final table, Timothy Adams looks down at pocket kings. This deck seems replete with some pretty solid starting hands. Timothy has put in a raise to 16,000. That's a min raise. Fold it around to Jason. Jason Kuhn will defend his big blind with ace-3 suited. And to the flop we go heads up.
Pretty standard action so far.
And the flop is 8 trade deuce. Pair of threes for Jason, who checks.
He also has a backdoor straight draw and a backdoor flush draw.
Tim bets 20,000 with the overpair. And Jason quickly calls. You ever get any information from an opponent based on the speed by which he makes a call?
It depends. It's very tough to get any real information just from one hand, but if you see someone play a number of hands and they make different decisions based on the strength of their hand, you definitely can pick some things up.
And look at this turn card. It's a third heart, but it's an ace. He checks to Tim, who checks behind him with the nut flush draw and the 2 kings. And now look at the river, Olivier. A set of kings for Tim Adams.
Yeah, now that ace of hearts was a very dangerous card. It completed the 4-5 straight, obviously completed the flush. And Jason could have had a hand like ace-4 or ace-5 to make a pair of aces. So I like the check from Timothy Adams. Now the question is he going to raise or just call with his rivered set of kings?
Yeah, Jason has bet 33,000. It looks like Tim is going to play it safe and just call, hoping he isn't up against a straight or a flush, and he'll see the good news.
Timothy Adams known to be a little bit more conservative than most players, but at the same time, didn't risk running into a better hand with Jason Kuhn.
Let's go to the Feld. Ben Hamnet. He's got a 10-5. He's going to fold his hand, and here's Ophir Moore with a Jack-8 of hearts. Just pulled off a brilliant bluff. He folds the hand. Tyler out, and now it's around to Matthew Burnitz.
Well, so much on the line for these guys. The difference between the next guy going out and the guy who wins is over 600,000. So a lot of money up for grabs now.
Matthew Burnitz, the chip leader, going to call.
Well, limps in the small blind with the Jack-5 of clubs, and Steve Brecker happy to see a flop with the Jack-8 of diamonds. And both players have flopped a pair of jacks.
Yeah, flop comes up ace-jack-4.
Vince, you're not going to put your opponent on an ace in this situation because neither guy raised before the flop.
That is correct. And right now, Matthew's going to bet his jacks. 325,000.
Steve Brecker, he's going to be thinking the same thing. The guy didn't raise. I don't put him on an ace. I think my jacks are good. I'm calling him. And his jacks, in fact, are good because he's got the best kicker, the 8.
Going to the turn, 3 of diamonds.
Well, 3 of diamonds comes off. This gives Matthew a wheel draw. He's going to check the 2 jacks. And Steve checks him right behind. Just doesn't want to fall in any traps here. But he's going to because a deuce comes off on the river. This gives Matthew a straight. How good is this guy running?
Well, that's pretty solid right there. Now, how much do you bet so you get called? That's an art in itself. And it looks like 750. Oh. And a quick call by Steve Brecker.
A snap call by Brecker. He sees he got beat on the river here. Not going to be happy about that.
Oh, and Matthew loving that. You know, he's a very superstitious guy.
Sounds good.
Tries to stay humble. He won a huge tournament at the World Series of Poker a few years ago, and that could have gone to his head, but instead Benny stays down to earth, continues to help out his family business. So I admire that he tries to achieve some life balance. Something that a lot of poker players lack, actually.
And he has raised his hand with a queen 9. Elon's gone out, and Mike with a king 5 of clubs makes the call.
Okay. We'll try again.
Mike with about 8.1 million in total chips, up against Benny, who has about 5.4. Here we go with the flop. It's a king 10-3. Good for Mike Sexton, hitting kings. He checks it.
Benny gonna follow through. He has a gut shot here to the jack.
That's 150.
Mike not going anywhere, makes the call.
Top pair doesn't like his kicker much, but nevertheless, deuce on the turn. Mike again going to check. And a bet by Benny, 400. Mike trying to keep this pot down small with his hand, so he makes the call. Down to the river card we go. And the card is a disaster for Mike. Jack!
Benny drills it on the river here.
Hits the straight. Mike checks again.
Now Benny reaching for the orange 100,000 chips. How much does he want to bet with his straight? 1.2 million.
Oh boy, this could damage Mike very much.
I guess I get to be on the raw deal. How about I played this hand?
No, you didn't play it bad, Mike. You played it perfect. Now you just got to fold.
You bet like you wanted me to call, now you don't want me to call. Maybe you do.
Mike knows that there are diamonds that have missed, that there are straight draws that have missed, but I think that's part of the reason he'll be able to get away. If he calls, he's really just hoping that Benny has diamonds.
Okay.
That's a well-played hand, but it never feels good to make top pair and lose, so...
Well played.
Perhaps that's why Mike's questioning himself.